being behind the screen and then meeting in real life, it's super different. Like, because you don't see my face anywhere, right? So you
Yeah.
probably didn't even know what I look like until like I showed up. Meeting all those people, like in the end, it was like super fun and I enjoyed it. But like before the pop up, I was just nervous because I didn't know how people would react to the brand. I was overreacting, but it was fun. I mean, it was definitely a good experience.
Hey, I'm Anthony Brandon, and you're watching the Creative Hills podcast. Welcome back. It's been a while since the last episode. Today, I got this cool shirt on right here, as you can see. And who made that? No other than over here on my right side,
Paul.
Paul
I
Kim.
love the shirt, man.
I like your shirt.
We're matched.
Yeah, we pretty much we didn't plan this at all. I kind of just put this on, and he showed up with the same exact shirt, and
Yes, sir.
it was meant to be. And now we're here. No, but you're the creator of
Have you died before?
Have You Died Before? And honestly, that's a really dope name. Tell me, like, how did that come about in general?
Well, let's see. So when I first started it, like there's a lot of brands with like obscure names and stuff like that, right? So I first started it kind of as a meme because I just had this other brand and I wanted to branch off from that. So I'm not sure where the name came from, but it's sort of like don't regret the life you're living right now, right? So that's kind of the motto for it, basically.
I love that, bro. And so let's take it back to the beginning because this is your first interview, the first time people can look up Paul Kim and find you. Actually,
Exactly.
Besides, like, there's like a pop star, a K-pop star. That was Paul Kim.
Yep.
That's your only competition for Paul Kim's. But no, yeah. Can you tell us a bit about your story in general? Like, where were you born? Because you kind of told me before this that you've been all over the place.
So I was born in Incheon in Korea. I moved to New York when I was like 5. Lived there for around like 6-7 years. Then I moved to LA, and then I just moved around a lot, quite a bit. Mostly around California, but the longest I've ever been anywhere is probably like Fullerton in California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Orange County. But yeah, I mean, I feel like my fascination for clothing, it stems from when I went to a public school in New York. We had to wear like almost the same thing every day. So I never got to choose like what I wanted to wear. So that's like definitely like it played a key in like how I wanted to like dress and like just how much I paid attention to clothing.
Like, you think it made you like kind of from not having that expression during school, it made you like every moment you were outside of school, you're like, this is when I get to express myself.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's kind of the gist of it, yeah.
And what were like some brands that you say you grew up with that you really, I don't know, just inspired you or got you to this point?
So when I was growing up, there weren't a lot of brands that I looked up to. Like I've just got into the fashion scene, I feel like just a couple of years ago. So I didn't really pay attention to brands, but I never really had the freedom to go and like go out and buy my own clothes basically. So it was kind of just whatever was in my closet.
And fast forward, like, I mean, how long has it been since the creation of
It's
Have You
been
Died
4
Before?
months.
4 months
Yeah,
only?
4 months, yeah, 4 months.
Dang.
I just started it. I've had brands in the past, but it just wasn't the style that I wanted to do. And when I always did like brands in the past, like I would work with other people, and I feel like I never had like creative freedom to do what I wanted to do. So this is definitely like a step forward for me. Just working on like how I want to like take the direction of a brand.
So this time around, it's all you, right?
Yeah, definitely all me. And well, I have my intern and like all the supporting cast, my screen printer, my manufacturer. They're definitely a big part of my brand, but definitely the identity and the creative direction part is all me.
Dang, that's crazy. And honestly, I love the aesthetic to everything, and it's very attention to detailed, and you have your own style when it comes to even the way you market everything. And I'm trying to remember the first time that I ever saw the brand or how I ran into it. I just remember seeing it and thinking like it was dope. It was probably one of those like outfit sharing pages or like some kind of fashion blogs. How important has being shared on Instagram through different pages been to their brand?
I definitely got really lucky. I feel like my style is really in right now. Just the advertising aspect. I never took marketing in high school or college, so I definitely needed a lot of help like knowing how to market. So before I started the brand, I was definitely into a lot of different brands. I researched their aesthetic, how they would market it, and then I kind of incorporated that into the way I market. But these big streetwear brands that repost or streetwear pages that repost my content, I'm definitely very grateful for it because that was definitely like a pivotal role. It played a pivotal role in the brand today.
Yeah, because right now it's what, like a little bit over 10K followers.
Yeah, a little bit over 10K. We just hit 10K, I think, like a couple weeks ago.
And it's been blowing since for you. How big do you see everything becoming? How big do you want it to become?
I don't want to be too pretentious, but I see my style like evolving so much over time. Like when I look at stuff that I used to work on when I was a freshman in college at Fullerton, it's definitely different from that. Like when I first entered fashion, I was more into like streetwear. This is still streetwear, but I was more into like vintage graphics and designs and stuff like that. That's when I first started studying graphic design. So I did a lot of like copying of like like the streetwear like basketball or like football tees and stuff like that. That's what I got into at first. But now I don't know. I feel proud of myself because I feel like I finally discovered my own style to things. Yeah.
You should. And like, where does the inspiration for all this come from? Like, this is literally what is this a picture of right here?
Yeah, it's a picture of a family. It's a picture of a family that I sketched. I found it online and then I sourced it and then I basically what I do with my graphics is for the most part I see something that I like, I'll print it out, I'll scan it, and then I'll sketch over it, like add little details that I want to, and then I'll put it into Photoshop, and then that's the graphics that you see on all my T-shirts, everything. Yeah.
I think the big differentiator when it comes to you and your brand is the important or the detail that you look over when it comes to the actual material and quality compared to just the graphic design. I think a lot of people make dope graphics, but not that many people go all the way as far as let me see like where I can get shirts that nobody really has or the mainstream doesn't really wear because I've definitely never really had a shirt like this.
Yeah. For the most part, I think that's because, well, the pattern that I see in fashion today is that a lot of people they want to make clothes, right? It's very graphic oriented, but not a lot of people have the technical education that it takes to, I guess, like kind of see like how to choose fabrics and stuff like that and make your own patterns. For anyone doing fashion, I would definitely recommend going to like a technical college or like a community college and just taking some of the classes that you need. Like even sewing, like I studied graphic design, then I went over to like sewing, and then I got into pattern making. So right now I'm studying pattern making at LA Trade Tech, and that definitely helped me a lot in knowing like what fabrics to choose for what and what will work for like pants or a jacket or anything like that.
That's awesome. So it's been just a bunch of experimentation from then, huh?
100%. Yeah, everything is just experimentation.
Yeah, but it's working out. It seems to be working out up to this point for sure. What does it feel like to be a Laker fan after the loss?
I don't want to talk about that.
It's that next question. Man, what out of all the teams, what made you go with the Lakers?
Yo, you know what? Before that, I hope the Suns win so we don't look as bad, honestly. But definitely, like, when I grew up in New York, like, I was so young that I didn't understand it, Like, whenever I tell my friends, they're all like, oh, that's so cool, you grew up in New York. But, like, I didn't grow up there long enough to know that I was in New York. You know what I mean?
Like you didn't embrace the culture necessarily?
Yeah, exactly. And also, I went to, like, some public schools, so I never, like, hung out with, like, people that knew, like, because I barely spoke English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How long do you think, up until what age do you think you really got good at English where you were like, okay, you didn't have to struggle with it as much?
I think I got pretty good at English, like, when I was, like, let's see. So I got to New York when I was, like, 5, right? Probably got good at English when I was, like, maybe like 9. Mm-hmm. I feel like when you're a kid, you grasp language easier. Like, if an adult try to learn, like, a whole different language, like, it'd be really difficult. It would take a lot of years to do it.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, like, you don't, because I didn't really know Korean that well. Mm. So, like, English was just, like, it's another, like, language. Like, it's not that hard.
Yeah. For you, how like honestly speaking, like that whole experience of coming to an unknown country, like do you have those early memories, like when you first touched down in the U.S. for the first time, and I don't know, having a hard time with all that, whether it was a language barrier or feeling different? Did that happen for you?
Definitely the language barrier. Because when I went to New York, I went to this school called PS12. So like in New York, I feel like there's like a lot of public schools, right? And they're named like Public School 12. So I went to Public School 12 Queens, and there were like 4 Koreans there, and one of them was my brother. I have a twin brother, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, damn. Would have never guessed that.
Yeah, so it was me, my twin brother, and then like these 2 other Korean kids that went to like the same tutor as us.
Damn. That's crazy. You guys look exactly alike, identical?
No, we don't.
Paternal?
Yeah, fraternal.
Paternal.
We look super different. I look like my mom, and my parents are divorced, so it's a constant reminder to my dad. I'm just kidding.
Does he do anything creative as well?
My dad?
No, your brother.
Oh, my brother. I mean, not really. No, he's just working, and he likes games a lot.
Just like you.
Yeah, just like me. I like games a lot.
But you've never played 2K.
It's like different games, you know. Like I like games like Minecraft and like Among Us. I like that. He plays like Rust and like COD, or I don't even know what the kids play nowadays.
So you guys are really different in
Yeah,
he pretty much everything.
Yeah, FPS shooter games, and I don't.
Damn. I feel it. But going back to, I guess, your whole childhood and everything growing up, like you mentioned quite a bit. For you, how influential were like your parents and everything you did, whether it was coming up with clothing? Were they supportive of it in general? Like I know most immigrant parents kind of had a hard time when it comes to creativity.
Yeah, I definitely grew up in like not the most traditional home. I grew up with like my dad. It was like 90% my dad, 10% my grandma. But my dad was always super supportive of like I think he definitely trusted that that I would like do something at least. You know, I had a pretty good work ethic, so there's definitely a lot of trust between my dad and me.
That's
and
good.
The household is like 3 guys, so it's definitely like very comfortable.
You never felt the pressure to do anything else, or being like, oh, maybe this isn't realistic. Maybe I should go, I don't know, get some random job that I really don't like a lot of people do.
So I started working when I was 16. There wasn't pressure for me to like work, but like we were talking about earlier, like I'm very competitive. Like I feel like I'm super competitive. So my dad definitely noticed, and he was just like super hands off because he knew like, you know, like I'm not gonna just sit back and just chill like for the rest of my life.
Yeah. That's good. Honestly, I think people don't acknowledge at times like how much hard work, and then they realize why they aren't necessarily where they would like to be or where others are at. I think a lot of times they kind of don't necessarily see exactly what it took for us to get where we want to go.
Yeah.
For you, like how many sleepless nights have there been?
Definitely a lot. Like a couple of years ago, when I first got into college, I wanted to like do chemistry, so that was like my major. Before I transferred over to I transferred over to web design, because I mean I was good at chemistry, but I just didn't like I didn't see a future for myself there. So I transitioned over to web design. And then I transitioned over to graphic design, and then I transitioned over to sewing, and then pattern making, and then now I'm here. So, like, I feel like the number one advice I would have for people that like enter college without knowing what they want to do is just try a lot of different things, and eventually, like, you'll find what you want to do. You know, like you hear that a lot, but it's definitely true. Like, I've done so many different things. Like, I've tried out so many different things, and I've worked at so many different places, and it's like a miracle that I'm finally like doing what I want to do, you know, after so long.
But every single part of that experience was like a piece to the puzzle of like, without one thing, you wouldn't necessarily have gotten the other thing, or I don't know, kind of like all the classes you've taken, all the schooling, all the jobs you've had, has somewhat now you can use it in your experience with this brand and everything you got going on now.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that 100%.
So everything kind of goes full circle for everybody watching right now, what are like some tips that you'd like to give people that are starting off with their own brand, like that you think, I don't know, people could use some help in, or even some things that you didn't know for the longest, and the moment you like got it everything clicked.
Advice I would have for people starting their own brands: don't do it. I'm just kidding. I mean, if you have an well, I'm sorry.
You're good, bro. You're good.
If you have an interest for clothing, I would say there's definitely a lot of trial and error. I would say like start now, but can you ask the question one more time? I got confused there for a second.
No, you're good.
One more time.
All right.
Last time.
All right. A piece of advice that took you a while to learn that you think people would appreciate, or like the moment you got that piece of advice, or you learned whatever it is that you learned, it kind of made a big difference in everything that you're doing.
So this is like the $1 million question, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone wants like, there's not. So if there was like, if there was one solution, everyone would do the same thing, right?
Facts.
But I feel like, because there's so many interviews with people that are up in streetwear now, or like even fashion designers, and they all have their own upbringing. So it's not definitely like, there's definitely not a single answer or like a single recipe to take you in the right direction. Like for me, like my story is so much different than the other guys, right? So the most important advice I could give to somebody that wants to start their own brand is to collect knowledge, right? And collect, I wouldn't say people, but you definitely need to have the right people around you, and people that, when people say that, you know, hard work beats talent, that's definitely true. Like you definitely need to put in the work, but you also need to have the right people surrounding you. And I definitely got lucky. Like I'm very averagely lucky, you know, like the people that I have with me now, I've had a relationship with them like over the years. Like I've worked with the same screen printer for like 5 years, and like the people I know now is like, you know, like Tati's like a photographer that I like kind of grew up knowing in the fashion world. She definitely helped me a lot. People that I've worked with in the past, it's very hard to answer that question because it's different for everybody. So I would say just start now and collect your people, I guess, the people around you, and just wake up every day and work hard for it.
For you, like, do you see in the long game, do you see yourself having many different brands, or do you really want to go all in and just build Have You Died Before to be the biggest thing ever?
So I'm in school, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a lot of technical things that I'm learning. I want to start my own label, like in the future, maybe like 5 years from now. But
Label as in
like more high fashion.
Okay.
I feel like this is definitely streetwear, you know, like ground level streetwear. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Have You Died Before is I'm trying to find the English word for it. I know the perfect word in Korean for it. It's like 충분해, which means like it's good enough as it is. Like it definitely represents my style in the best way, as of now. Yeah.
But as you evolve as a person, you definitely see things changing up a bit.
Exactly. Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe I'll make crop tops for men.
There you go. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. It's just an ongoing evolution. Outside of like fashion, do you see yourself doing anything else, or are you doing anything else?
No, I'm just focusing on clothes. Like I don't want to overextend myself, and I'm not very like, you know, like creative wise outside of clothing. So I just stick to what I'm good at pretty much.
We're not gonna find you doing TikTok dances or
Definitely not.
anytime soon out here. YouTube tutorials.
I've done a YouTube tutorial actually.
Have you really?
Yeah, I have. Check it out.
Go find him.
It's under Paul Kim, I'm pretty sure. I made a tutorial about like how to make like a work jacket.
Oh really?
Yeah,
how long ago was that?
I'll have to see, but it was maybe like a year ago.
Like a year ago? Dang. Who, at the moment, if you had to pick out like 5 designers that you could hang out with for a day, who would they be?
Okay. Iris Van Herpen is probably number 1 for me. Have you seen her stuff?
No.
Okay. Do you know the glass dress that broke fashion?
Glass dress.
Yeah, I mean,
no.
it's like a water dress kind of. It's made of like this glass and like, it's she's like a genius. Like I feel like her stuff is so different from traditional high fashion, and yeah, I mean, Iris Van Herpen is definitely up there. I mean, she is a top. Like I would love to meet her one day. But I don't know.
That's number one on your
Yeah, yeah.
list.
I don't know if I'll ever get good enough to like be on her level, like in my lifetime. Like
Hey.
give me 3 lifetimes and I'll definitely be up there. Yoji Yamamoto, second. Let's see. I researched a lot of fashion in school. I'm kind of blanking right now. Let's see. Ray Kawakubo, Undercover. Definitely, these are the people that everyone looks up to. You know, I feel like these are the 3 people that everyone enjoys. Like everyone that knows fashion and studies fashion. I feel like these are the most like common like people that people would like to meet.
And then one day people are gonna say, "I want to meet Pocket."
I hope so. I hope I get there one day. Like I said, 3 lifetimes I'll be there.
But you recently had a pop-up shop. It was your first pop-up shop ever.
Yes, it was. It was amazing. Thank you for the people that showed up. It was great. It was a good time. I know I was super busy. I didn't get to meet everyone at the pop-up, but I know they were like, did you see any videos of it? People were like moshing.
They were selling like hotcakes. They were
Yeah, I
trying to
know.
get in line. They were pushing
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was definitely a line because it was supposed to start at 5 or 6, and then Jay, the guy, my friend, he hosted it. His brand is Crisis. Go check it out. He didn't let people in until like 30 minutes after it was supposed to open. So there was a line outside. I took advantage of that and gave stickers to everybody so they would come to my pop up first.
Smart.
It
See,
seemed to work.
Marketing hacks 101.
But yeah, it was a fun time. Rich Brian pulled up.
Okay.
Super cool guy. I didn't get to talk to him for that long because we were so busy. I don't know what everyone else did, but I remember my stand was like super hectic because we were screen printing there. So like it was like if someone wanted a tank top, like we would print it for them there, and it took a long time, and I feel like people were getting irritated because it was taking like 5 minutes because me and Omar, that's my screen printer, we were just like trying to like because we forgot one of the screws, so like I had to hold it back while he was printing it. It was a mess.
Damn,
But it was fun.
But you live and you learn.
Yeah, you do. Next time, don't forget the screw, Omar. Do not forget it.
Looking at you, Omar.
Yeah.
No, but that's great, and I think as you go on, it's just gonna get better and bigger events. Before you know it, you're gonna have a whole swarm, a whole army outside waiting for you. How do you feel about like like how does it feel to you, like seeing all that amount of people in real life compared to just Instagram?
I was definitely worried at first because I'm like social anxiety and all that.
What were your real worries? Where it's like nobody's gonna come, or what was it?
Dude, I was talking to my intern. I was like, I don't want to go to the pop up. Like, I don't want to meet all these people because I feel like being behind the screen and then meeting in real life, it's super different. Like, you know, like because you don't see my face anywhere, right? So you
Yeah.
probably didn't even know what I looked like until like I showed up.
Yeah, honestly.
So yeah, like meeting all those people, like in the end, it was like super fun and I enjoyed it. But like before the pop up, I was just nervous because I didn't know how people would, I guess, react to the brand. I was overreacting, but it was fun. I mean, it was definitely a good experience. The personal aspect of it, I feel like it's really enjoyable, and I like to interact with the people that comment on, you know, my photos and everything. And I feel like not a lot of brands do that. So yeah, it's definitely like more of a. I don't have a personal Instagram, so it's definitely like kind of like my personal Instagram. The way
Yeah.
I interact with people, like they're my friends.
I love that. I really love the way that you interact with everybody on there for sure. I remember you do a lot of the ask a question boxes. You do a lot of that, and people really be asking like some good questions, and
Yeah.
then you answer amazingly. Like you go really into details with whatever and any questions they really ask. Like, what are some of the weirdest comments or questions you get?
Let me see. I remember like a couple weeks ago, I posted like, hold up, you know what? Let me bring it up real quick.
There you go.
I remember I have it saved.
Or if there's any questions that you haven't answered.
I definitely don't answer a lot of questions, but that's because like it's so it gets so repetitive. Like people keep asking the same questions. Like, let me see if I can find it. I can't find it.
How much time do you see yourself spending on Instagram right now?
Dude, I'm on there 24/7. Like when people DM me, I literally respond like within like the hour.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah. It's because instant gratification and all that.
True. You have your notifications turned on?
Dude, no, I don't. But because like my phone would constantly be blowing
Yeah.
up, like especially when I post something. But I can't find it right now. But I remember like when I do post it, I get some like really good questions, and then there's the weird ones, you know, like they ask about like my personal life or whatever, and I mean that's cool, but I don't know.
It just gets a little too
Yeah,
weird.
it gets a little too personal sometimes. Yeah.
You wake up in the morning. What does your routine look like?
Okay, so there's like two different versions of me, right? So sometimes I'll wake up and like I'll have the best day. Like my ideal day is like wake up at 6, just like work out or whatever, and then go straight to the office. Just work on graphics, make sure everything's shipped right, and then just come back home, come up with new ideas, make some patterns, draft some patterns, grade, and then go to sleep without watching like any Netflix or anything. That's like my ideal day. But then the days that I've been experiencing like in the past 2 weeks, because like we're kind of in a lull right now, like mid season.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just focusing on like shipping and everything. It's just like wake up, watch Netflix, go back to sleep, wake up, and then like try to do work, but I can't even focus because like I'm mostly productive like when it's like really early or like when it's like pretty late. So it's definitely hard to like fill in the time wisely, I feel like.
Man, in the end, at the end of your days, you're like 70 years old. You're on your rocking chair. Or you're living your best life. You've had extraordinary success. What do you want people to remember for, or what would you like your story to end up being?
So, what would I want my story to be? Well, first off, I don't think I'm going to live that long, to be honest. I'm having issues right now as it is. Let me see. I would just want people to think that, I gave it my best effort, for the people around me, like my friends and my family. I want to make like a positive impact in their life. I feel like that's super important. I don't want to work too long. I would prefer to like work in like the first half of my life and then spend the second half just connecting with other people. But I don't know. I just want to leave a positive impact on the world, and especially through fashion. I know sustainability is a big thing right now, and that's definitely something that I want to transition into. So yeah,
Sustainability. Love that. What are some ways that you think people are doing that right now in the fashion world? Like, are there some good examples or people or brands, I'd say, that people can look up to right now, kind of to get an image for all that?
So there's this fashion blogger right now. Her name is Kristen Bateman.
Mm-hmm.
She posts a lot about sustainability. She introduces a lot of brands that are very sustainable. They like source their own material. They go through companies that pay workers a decent wage. I don't know if you know, but fashion leaves like a gigantic ecological footprint or environmental footprint on the world. So it's definitely important to be mindful of the clothes that you're buying. I know at first it started off as like a punt to fast fashion. People started buying more from independent brands, Depop, places like that, Etsy. But I don't know, like being sustainable, I feel like it's very difficult, and the price point for sustainability is something that brands have to be mindful about too, because sometimes it gets really expensive to, use the most responsible companies, because they're usually going to charge more for their fabrics. Like something I can get from LA at like a dead stock place for fabrics, it'll probably cost me like $3-4 a yard for cotton or something like that. And then if it's sustainable or ahimsa, that's like a sustainable silk. I think it's super. I mean, it's pretty similar, but it does add up when you're buying like hundreds and hundreds of yards. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Honestly, that's definitely something that me. Honestly, I'm barely getting into fashion. Maybe like a year or two ago, where I really like started going outside of the normal for me. I guess of like I didn't want to be the guy that goes down the street and I see somebody wearing the same exact outfit, and so that's kind of how I got lost in this whole thread of like going on Instagram or some random ass website, just finding whatever I think is looks cool for me, and yeah, I think that's definitely an interesting topic that I hadn't necessarily thought of how dangerous or not dangerous, but how much of an impact even clothing can have on just the environment.
It makes a big impact, and I feel like definitely in my scene, like the streetwear pages that I follow, the ones that repost other brands, it's just we're all kids. I feel like because I'm 21, right, and all these kids that are like doing brands similar to me, they're like around the same age, and I feel like, especially in LA, it really is more of like you can be sustainable when you're financially, you know, like there. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's been a lot of stress to be sustainable, and that's good. That's good. Like, I'm all for it. But some kids are just like they don't have, like their bank is gonna break if they like put too much emphasis on it. You know?
'Cause it's hard to scale at that when you have a lot more expenses, right?
Yeah, especially if you want to take it to like a manufacturer, like you have to order like 50 or like 50 is like the minimum, like hundreds if you go overseas. Mine is all domestic, so it's pretty low, but still, like if I were to switch over to like something sustainable, like a good example is like when people make one-offs, that would be considered sustainable, right? Because they're thrifting or whatever, and then they're taking that and then they're cutting it up and then sewing it like how I used to like a year ago. It's just, it's good to be mindful about, but some people just, I don't know. I wish that the bigger companies would do it. Like, you know, like, what's a big company? Forever 21 or like H&M, like, you know, like stores that you see at the mall, like Zoomies or whatever.
Yeah.
Not Zoomies. Zoomies is a reseller. But like, you know, like these stores, like if they all put an emphasis on like using companies that are paying their workers a decent wage and not like overworking or like using children to you know, like make the clothes, then everyone would get on board. Like it's only a matter of time until everyone, you know, gets on board with it. So I can't wait for that day because then it'll like be affordable for everybody else.
That's great. Aside from that, what are some other issues or things that you would like to see change within the fashion industry?
We're on a good path, I feel like. A lot of people try to see the negative, but I think fashion is definitely way more inclusive than it was like 20 years ago. There's definitely a rise in, you know, using minority models, LGBTQ, people of, you know, different sizes and different heights, like everything. I just think fashion is more inclusive now, and but also there's, you know, like I want to make my brand as inclusive as possible, but it would just be unrealistic to make like a size extra small through like triple XL, you know. Like I feel like I wouldn't know how to market it that way, but some brands do, and yeah, I mean, if you know how to do it, like let me know. Yeah,
That's one of the challenges. At the end of the day, it's hard to please everybody.
it is. It really is hard to please everybody.
But no, but honestly, before we go, what's one fun fact about you that you think people would find interesting?
I like playing Among Us. I play like every day. If you want to play, hit me up, please. Because some of these lobbies are pretty toxic, dude. I mean, when you're sitting in front of a, like, because there's no one recording you, right? Especially like on like FPS games, like people are behind a screen. I tried Rust one time with my brother. Oh my goodness, dude. These kids are like saying whatever comes to mind, and it's just like there's no like lashback at all. So they just, yeah, I feel like definitely like racism is still a big part of this country's past, and I'm sure like it'll gradually get better, but it's definitely part of its present. And I think we should all, you know, make a collective effort to like tone it down on like the little comments, you know, like the little microaggressions and stuff like that. But yeah, fun fact about me, I got all serious there for a second. But no, like it's definitely an issue that I focus on. I mean, like, you know what? Let's talk about this another day. But yeah, if you want to play Among Us, hit me up. Yeah.
No, yeah, man. Thanks for being on here, bro. Like honestly, I appreciate that. Where can everybody follow you at?
Yeah, my Instagram is haveyoudiedbefore. The U is YOU. Yeah, you could pretty much find me on every platform with that at. Yeah.
Have you died before? Awesome, man. Any last words for
No
everybody
last
watching?
words, brother.
All right.
Nice meeting you.
All right.
Thank you.
Later,
Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.